Hello? Okay, there we go.
Oh, the switch is backwards now.
Yeah, they put a new one in.
Okay, thanks for telling me. We're at the City Hall Council Chambers at 10 West State Street. It's March 9th, 2026 at 5:30 p.m. Would you all join me with the Pledge of Allegiance? Okay, let's have roll call, please.
Cahill?
Here.
Fonseca?
Here.
Mitchell?
Here.
Nichols?
Here.
Schneider?
Here.
Thompson?
Here.
Yepes Gomez?
Here.
Okay, we have a full house. Moving on to public comment. Members of the public may make comments on any item that is not on the agenda at this time. The speaker shall approach the microphone, state their name and address. Comments shall be limited to 3 minutes unless authorized by the mayor. The speaker shall direct comments to the mayor and the council as a whole. The mayor and council may provide a response to a public comment, but shall not engage in a discussion or debate on items raised by the members of the public. No action may be taken on items raised in public comments in order to comply with open meetings laws. And with that, the microphone is the public's. What?
Tim Bradbury, 12 North 10th Avenue. I love Marshalltown, been here plenty of years, and I'm disturbed what's going on. I appreciate the police department and the good work they do. We had a murder a block from me in the last couple of weeks, and I wish there was some way you could notify us neighbors or anybody else when anybody's at large or you're looking for somebody. I know it's an ongoing investigation, but if there's something going on, it terrified my wife and stuff. She heard the shots and stuff. But if there's a way so we know if there's somebody still lurking in our buildings or building anywhere around, that somehow there'd be some way to notify. I know the manpower would be tight, but if there's some way, whether it's my area or anywhere, it'd be nice to have some way to have that happen. The other thing is disturbing is seeing that there's more increase in crime or more violent situations coming. And I remember the sheriff saying a couple years ago or last year when he's talking that we have representatives of all the top gangs here in Marshalltown or Marshall County. And I keep seeing more and more on the inmate deal that tells us ones that's making it to jail. I'm disturbed by that. Does that mean there's more drugs and activity of that end going on? Is it more gang fights from out of town coming in? But I think I'm not seeing enough people get disturbed by it. Is there ways that we can be more alert about what to watch for, what's going on? Because I don't want to see it keep growing, but it seems to keep growing and more and more, whether it's outsiders or insiders. And if there's any way we can have people get together and see if there's ways we can curb it or keep more eyes out. We used to have, I forgot what kind of watch group we used to have, Crime Alert or something. But somehow we need to be more aware, because my neighborhood, I'm on the north side of town, it don't need to happen anywhere. And I'm disturbed that it's increasing, and then especially a block away that this stuff's happening. And I just like to just make everybody more aware that we're upset about it. We don't want to see it keep growing. If there's any way we can help, let's do it.
Hey, Tim.
Linda Clark, 306 South 2nd Avenue. RAGBRAI in July will need the whole community. A family event with public safety for all, county and city. Many historic business. We have Brown Shoe Store, and Marshalltown's very own Dale Paulin was the voice for Buster Brown Shoes. Main and State Street area with licensed bars and restaurants. We have a bike shop, hardware, nonprofits. Courthouse Square, the Veterans Memorial, what I would like to see VFW, Blue Star Moms, Legion Guards, education material on this site. Short distance to 13th Street to see the Iowa Veterans Home. Summit to see the National Guard Armory. Or bike to Grimes Farm, or see the Union Pacific Railroad Yard on Madison Street, Lennox Industry, the library, Emerson. All business should benefit. Those who choose to host cyclists with events will do so in an organized manner, subject to curfew and rules. First aid stations throughout the city, motels, 6th Street. We have the Legion there, and Al Hoops, you know, our council person, his memorial is there on that site. We have golf, we have bowling, we have the aquatic center, business to feature Emerson on Center Street. I would suggest the band shell placed for central location at Riverview Park, pet area, camping available, activities nearby on 3rd and 4th Avenue, licensed venues. Beer tents placed in secure areas where only adults have access to purchase and consumption with police enforcement. Food access throughout the city in family-friendly venue, mobile trucks, other parks, churches, schools. I'm an alumni, MHS and MCC 2005. We have the fairgrounds, who might choose to host events for cyclists will do so. Emergency management involved with the county, sheriff, police, and fire chiefs, all their teams. I am confident they're working together, many experienced with RAGBRAI. 2012 showed what weather can cause for emergency evacuation. Each individual has responsibility to be prepared. Liberty, responsibility, two sides of the same coin, starts with you. Thank you for your time and consideration.
Thank you, Linda.
Mary Mock, 834 West Merle Hibbs Boulevard. I want to say that I'm disappointed that my petition for the four-way stop at Merle Hibbs Boulevard and 6th Street was not on the agenda tonight because I felt like it was going to be, and now it's been pushed back to the 23rd of March. We have over 329 members of this community that want that four-way stop, and I guess I just wanted to know what the holdup is. I know you can't answer, but I appreciate your time. Thank you.
I'm Don Benbow. I live at Village Cooperative, which is 915 West Merle Hibbs. And we had Heather Thomas give a nice talk to us on the facts, numbers, traffic patterns for the corner that Mary just talked about of Merle Hibbs and 6th Street. And apparently there's an organization that sets up standards for what warrants a four-way stop. And those, and Heather made those very clear. It's nice to have numbers. We all love numbers. But I want to talk about things that a chart like that discussion misses. Those numbers can't consider the fact that that corner, four-way stop, four-way corner is kind of in the valley between two hills. If you're going northbound or southbound, you're going downhill. Speed limit is 35, I think, right there. But it's so easy to just coast a little bit above that so that automatically there's some pretty fast traffic going by there. Secondly, I think we have data on how many cars turn left, turn right, go straight ahead from various ways over a 24-hour period. But we recognize the fact that it doesn't happen. The traffic is heaviest there only about 3 times a day, start and finish of the work day and noon hour area. Really gets a lot of traffic. The rest of the time is fairly clear. So the numbers don't consider that either. As the Center Street viaduct is under repair, there's going to be a lot more difficulty, a lot more traffic, I think, on 6th Street. And those folks are going to say, I realize that's a really good way to get in and out of town. So I wouldn't be surprised that even after the Center Street Viaduct opens, they might very well decide that's a good way to go. So it probably will certainly result in more traffic during the time it's closed, but even after it's closed and opens again, Center Street, I bet a lot of that traffic, or some of that traffic, will continue to go down 6th. On a lighter note, one of the facts that Heather brought to us was the fact that there have been 11 crashes at that corner in the last 5 years, and that's not enough crashes to justify a four-way stop. And one of our members asked, how many crashes does it take? Because that may be something that we could work on.
Thank you. Anyone else?
Hi, I'm Lane Peary. I live at 20 East State Street in Marshalltown. Sorry.
Yeah.
First of all, just want to say I recognize that this isn't on tonight's agenda. I'm not asking for like action on anything, just for staff to consider bringing back a corridor level safety plan as future work, to preface this. I'm asking the city to finish the work that replaces the horn with better protections at each remaining crossing, extended medians, 4-quadrant gates where needed, pedestrian channelization, and upgraded warning circuitry. This is for the railroad. That is the federal safety framework for allowing less routine horn use, no horn reduction without real engineering that reduces risk. I want to acknowledge the safety debate honestly. Federal analyses have said that quiet zone crossings can be safe, but other research shows increased accidents when treatments are incomplete or not maintained. That's exactly why I'm urging a complete best practice package, not shortcuts. We have momentum. In May of 2025, the Times Republican reported the council's unanimous direction to proceed with the Union Pacific Railroad's $750,000 contribution tied to closing the 2nd Street crossing, and the city's notice shows that crossing did close on June 17th. That demonstrates collaboration and follow-through. Finishing the corridor now brings shared benefits. For residents and train crews, that means fewer conflict points, fewer gate runs, safer pedestrian control. That's the purpose of the federal framework, to replace noise with better protection. For Union Pacific Railroad and other rail users, more predictable moves through town, fewer incident investigations, less dwell from at-grade conflicts. Local reporting documented how often the 2nd Street crossing was blocked when it was still open, which shows why targeted closures and engineered treatments matter operationally. For local jobs and businesses, construction scopes our firms already do: concrete, medians, stripping, approach paving, channelization, with the railroad handling the signal envelope. Other cities document exactly this division of work. My ask is straightforward. Bring back a corridor plan that lists the remaining upgrades crossing by crossing with the safety case for each, sequences construction with a realistic timeline, and identifies funding sources that protect core street budgets while pursuing outside dollars where available. Build it once and build it right. Finally, as we do the hard safety work, I'd support a light-touch, durable public realm layer on the approaches, standardized fencing, resilient wayfinding, and an interpretive nod to Marshalltown's rail history, delivered outside the signal envelope and designed for low maintenance as other cities have done. Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else? Okay. Let's move on to mayor, council, and administrator comments. Does anyone have anything?
I do, if I may.
Yes.
My neighbor, who's 25, plays in a, and I hope I pronounce this right, so someone's going to help me, futsal? I call it indoor soccer. Plays in a league that occurs at the Coliseum. So I ran into him Saturday, went up to watch the game, and it was the first time I'd even seen this league play. And he plays on a team that's like at the top division. And I'm telling you, this is impressive. At that, I can't speak to the lower divisions, but it exceeded all my expectations. And the league starts their quarterfinal play next Saturday. And if you've never seen these guys play, it was a lot. I just say this: it was a lot faster and more intense than I can imagine. There's 5 guys per side, one's the goalie, obviously. But I'm telling you, if you've never seen this, go next Saturday afternoon at the Coliseum, because it was incredible. And I will never sit behind the net again, okay? Just telling you, because at my age, I wasn't quick enough. So the ball comes with a pretty good velocity. So I'm just saying, this is not a park and rec league. Jorge rents the gym, and then it's his league that he runs, and I can't say enough. I mean, I can't tell you how many people were there just watching. So next Saturday, hopefully it's a bad day outside, and so we all go up there and watch this. So thank you.
Okay. Anyone else?
Your Honor,
Yes.
I just wanted to say Happy International Women's Day, and especially to our City Administrator Webb, Lisa Hunter, City Clerk, and our Councilor Cahill, and all the women out there. Happy International Women's Day, as it was yesterday.
Have anything? Okay. Moving on to consent agenda, we have number 10 being pulled from the consent agenda, so I would entertain a motion to approve the consent agenda minus number 10.
Move for approval, Your Honor.
Second.
Okay. Any questions or comments? Roll call, please.
Mitchell,
Yes.
Nichols,
Yes.
Schneider,
Yes.
Thompson,
Yes.
Yepes Gomez,
Yes.
Cahill,
Yes.
Fonseca.
Yes.
Okay. Now let's move back to the item number 10 that was pulled off the consent agenda.
Resolution authorizing the use of funding allocated to the Downtown East Main Street Center Street Reconstruction Project number STR 22002 towards alley repair work in the vicinity of said project.
I hear a motion to approve.
Move to approve.
Second.
Okay, I have a motion and a second.
May I?
Yes.
I asked to have this pulled for the simple reason, what I stated when we discussed this moving forward, was that I just don't think it's in the best interest of us as a body to start paving alleys before we start paving streets. I think the citizens have made it quite clear that they want and expect their streets to be repaired. I'm not saying I don't think these alleys should be repaired. They should. But I just don't think it's a good idea to pave them before we pave the streets. So that's why I asked it to be pulled, so I could vote no on this. Thank you.
Okay.
Your Honor, if I may,
Yes, you may.
put a caveat on that, and we're going to go back to the last meeting where I was told that I couldn't do what I did. I apologize for that, but it still doesn't change the situation. We need to listen to our constituents, and they want the roads repaired. So the money that's left over on any road project needs to stay in the road project for something else. So my vote will be no.
Okay. Anything from anyone else? From the public?
Lane Peary, 20 East State Street. I didn't write anything about this, but when I was looking into it, wasn't the reason that you guys were planning to do the alleys at the same time because they're already out there working, and that kind of incorporates those costs, so you wouldn't have to pay them again? In my mind, it seems like this does save money in the long run. So, thanks.
Thank you.
Jolene Ballard, 610 North 2nd Avenue. It may save money, but it costs money. And every dime we spend on the extraneous stuff is less money we have to spend on the streets. Please, you have heard Gary said it, and Mark said it. We want our streets fixed. Thank you.
Linda Clark, 306 South 2nd Avenue. I reiterate, we need to have the streets fixed. And over in my ward, there are big potholes. And I know at one point they had a hotline that we could call and report, so potholes and streets could be fixed. And the one that I'm talking about is when you turn there at Walgreen and you go south, you get to the end of the street. There is a big pothole right there. That's in 4th Ward. Put the money in the street.
Lee Botter, 401 Orchard Drive. The finger that comes off, and there's not traveled much, but we have had a sinkhole, and it actually has, the street has caved in now. Well, walked my dogs back there, and I thought, oh boy, this is not good. So we actually did get a snowplow stuck there in that sinkhole. So they did get it towed out, but I'm guessing we won't have snow removal back there in the future. So thank you.
Doris Kinnick, 2020 Catalina Place, streets first. Simple as that. If the alleys are already allocated with different money than the road money, that's a different thing. But if it is, we need to get our streets taken care of. I was on Highland Acres Road over the weekend. Yeah, you need to lower that speed limit down to like 25 or even 20, because it is really bad.
Tim Bradbury, 12 North 10th Avenue. Don't like to beat a dead horse, but I never hear brought up, and I was talking to somebody today that's supposed to be in the know of it. It's been 6 years now, I believe, since streets have been touched. Where has all that money gone? Is it still sitting in a fund? I was told it was used for salaries and other expenses. And if fuel taxes, we pay our gas tax, and the money goes into that fund to fix streets. Where is it? I don't hear it brought up. If we got it, great. You know, and then what's the reason behind it? Or is it because the money is used up and we don't have the money? I'd like to know.
Anyone else? Anything up here? Let's have roll call, please.
Fonseca? Yes. Mitchell?
No.
Nichols?
No.
Schneider?
Yes.
Thompson?
No.
Yepes Gomez?
Yes.
Cahill?
Yes.
Thank you. Okay, moving on to motion G.
We have a motion to approve a 5-day Class C retail alcohol license with outdoor service for the Midnight Ballroom for a rodeo held at the Central Iowa Fairgrounds on April 4th.
Move for approval?
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Is there any questions or comments? Roll call, please.
Yepes Gomez?
Yes.
Cahill?
Yes.
Fonseca?
Yes.
Mitchell?
No.
Nichols?
Yes.
Schneider?
Yes.
Thompson?
Yes.
Okay, moving on to resolutions.
Resolution approving the city fee schedule changes.
Move to approve.
Second.
I have a motion and a second.
Sarah,
Are there
do you wanna
questions?
start?
Sorry, did you have questions on the fee schedule changes, or?
Yes, I did. May I? Trying to pull it up here. One of them was changing the copy cost at the library from 10 cents for black and white to 25 cents. Another one was from the color copies from 25 cents to 50 cents, if that's correct?
Sarah Rosenblum, Library Director. Sorry. Yes, we have not raised the fees in the 15 years I've been here, and according to JOA, we haven't raised the fees in longer. So we felt that we did a study. We looked at other libraries. We also looked at our costs, and then we felt this was an appropriate move. And of course, we're always asked every year in budget, is there any fee that's at the right place? And actually, we only started putting our fees on the fee schedule, I think, in the last year or so, because of course the board is the one who approves it. But we do feel this is in line with other libraries around the state. There's actually a couple that cost $1 for color. But we have, like I said, not raised them. I mean, paper has more than doubled, a box of paper. Toner, the equipment that we used, the equipment we buy, the copiers, we've always bought our own copiers. We've never used CIP. We've always bought them out of our existing budget. We also have to buy software that goes up an average of 5 to 7% a year in maintenance that runs the system. So we do feel this is a fair, maybe you might think it's a little shocking, but we do think this is fair based on the need. We also have to pay an overage every month, and that runs anywhere between $250 and $500. So we're spending out of pocket. We're not keeping up with what it's costing us to run the service.
May I continue? May
Your
I
Honor?
continue?
Yes.
I think the people that'll be disadvantaged by this is, I'm going to use my good friend, Counselor Nichols. He doesn't print at the library because he has the ability to do that at home. The people that print at the library do it for a reason. They don't have the internet or they don't have printer capabilities. I think this is a 150% increase on one and a 100% increase on the other. And then I'll say this. Yes, you haven't raised prices in all those years, and I did talk to the city administrator if we even need to even have this discussion, because I'm not even sure we have the authority to say yes or no to the fee schedule with this on there. I mean, and I'm still not sure. I mean, I guess I should ask that question before I go on. Are we just approving it being on the fee schedule, or are we actually voting if we want these changes on the fee schedule?
You're voting if you want the changes.
So we do have the authority to set this price over the board.
If it's on the fee schedule, yes, you do.
Okay, then I'm going to say this. I used to own a business where we did printing. Technology has changed, it's driven prices down. One of the places that we overcharged was 10 cents for a black and white copy. Cost of paper hasn't risen that much. It's less than 0.2 cents per page, per sheet of paper. The technology, if you're on free, I don't know what kind of lease the library has.
We do not lease. The city encourages us to buy our copiers. We do not lease, so.
Okay, a maintenance agreement that would provide toner would probably be a better bet for you.
We have that. So, but we still have these overages that run every month and, so, sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you, so.
I'm just saying the actual cost, if the contract is negotiated properly, it's less than a penny, and you have to round up to get to that penny for a black and white copy, and less than 5 cents for a color copy, and that's probably way down too, because, again, if the toner's provided, it doesn't matter what color it is. To me, this is outrageous. I just can't support this. I can support the other things on the fee schedule, but not this.
Okay, thank you. Any other questions? Any comments from the public? Roll call, please.
Mitchell,
Yes.
Nichols,
Yes.
Schneider,
Yes.
Thompson,
No.
Yepes Gomez,
Yes.
Cahill,
Yes.
Fonseca.
Yes.
Okay. Resolution number 2, please.
Resolution awarding Ralston Homes as a developer for the Community Development Block Grant Disaster Recovery Housing Program.
Do I hear a motion to approve?
I move we approve. Second.
Okay, thank you.
Good evening, Deb Millweiser, Housing and Community Development Director. Before you tonight is a resolution to award Ralston Homes as the developer for the Marshalltown CBD DR housing application. I'm recommending approval because IEDA requires the city to identify a developer in the Iowa grants application process. The city would like to execute a development agreement or my glasses are really dirty this evening. I was back there trying to scrub them off, so I apologize here. The city would not execute a development agreement. We're only asking to take action to choose a developer in the process of applying for the grant this evening. The goal of this project is to add affordable for sale infill housing for income qualified households within Marshalltown's existing neighborhoods. I did issue a proposal. I did receive a response from Ralston Homes. I'd like to add that Ralston Homes came highly recommended from the IEDA. They also have had a successful they did a successful build of 6 units in the Atkins area. They worked with ECOG, which is also our grant administrator, and they came highly recommended. So I also have Jeff Ralston, the proposed developer, is in the audience tonight. If you have any questions of him, he traveled here to be available for you as well. In the future, I would also like to note that I plan on bringing back a discussion in the future regarding city-owned lots as being a part of a contribution to the grant process. I am available if you have any questions.
Does anyone have any questions?
A question or a comment? So I think this is moving the right direction to do the infill housing. Appreciate that we have somebody that is experienced with this area and has previous grants awarded. So I'd be a strong supporter of any efforts to do infill housing in Marshalltown for qualified owners.
Thank you.
Your Honor, I had a couple of questions.
Okay.
And whether they are for Mr. Ralston or whatever, as I read through the different proposals, 2 questions that I came up with. One of them, it stated that the sale price of these homes was set at about $175,000.
That is the cap.
And in the situation where they were duplexes, is that per unit or for the whole building?
It's per unit.
Per unit. And is it the same in a single-family home?
The cap is $175,000, so depending on if whether it's a single-family home or a duplex. Am I correct with your builds in Atkins? Yes.
One other question I had, I believe, and I was looking at the schematics or the blueprints of them, on the duplexes, where I believe is an upper or lower level. I think it's a lower is what I figured out.
I think this might be a Jeff question. Do you want to come
Well,
up?
my question was, is the second level finished or is it just roughed out? So it is just roughed out. It's not a finished basement, no bath down there?
Not finished.
Non-finished. Okay, thank you.
Any other questions for me?
Anyone? Thank you, Deb. Anything from the public?
Doris Kinnick, 2020 Catalina Place, $175,000 for a house. To start out, $175,000. That's too much. It's got to be lower. That cap's got to be lower than $175,000 if you want single families to at least have a chance of starting a family and starting a new life. Thank you.
Tim Bradbury, 12 North 10th. I believe I brought this up last year to be on the north end of town and put that high cost of housing in our neighborhoods. I think that would not blend in. Also, what's the city cost to this? And if they're going to get help to be able to get a $175,000 house, I think that's wrong. But it's just way out of whack for the few people that it's helping. I think this is wrong, so we vote it down.
Anyone else?
Your Honor,
Yes.
may we have Jeff from Ralston's home come up? I have a question.
Please.
Jeff.
Yeah, I'm
Yes.
Jeff Ralston.
Hi, Jeff.
Can you give us your address quick?
I actually live at 6007 33rd Avenue Drive, Shellsburg.
Okay.
Sounds good. Could you let us know a little bit about the plans you have, like just in a nutshell?
Yep.
What are they going to look like?
First of all, I'll say that the state sets the cap, and so the city doesn't have any discretion. I've been in the neighborhoods we're thinking about, and it's our intention to try and make that price lower. So that's our intention. We also will have looked in the neighborhoods, and our intention is also to try and build homes that look like they belong in the neighborhood. And right now, we have 3 floor plans. One is a standard duplex, which I sent over. One is a single-family home, which may be adjusted slightly to make it smaller or larger, depending on the lot that it's going on. All of these, and that's open for discussion, but we have floor plans that work for us, that we can build for a reasonable price. People will have to income qualify, so there'll be 80% of adjusted income for this county, Marshall County. They'll also have to qualify for a mortgage, so they won't be able to purchase these homes unless they can demonstrate the ability to make the payments.
Okay, could you let us know, 3-bedroom?
Generally,
2-bedroom,
they're,
2-bath?
yep.
What do we got?
Yep. As part of this submission, there were floor plans included. They're either 2 or 3 bedroom, so usually it's 2 bedrooms on the upper floor. And then if someone had the means or in the future had an improvement in their lot, then they could finish the basement and have a 3rd bedroom. So they're generally 2 bedroom.
2 bedrooms on the main level, and they're all 1 level. Is there an upper
No,
level,
that's
second
correct.
story?
They're just a single story. Now, that's not necessarily true. One of the lots that we're looking at would be nice to have a duplex on, and the character of that neighborhood is to have 2 stories and a basement. And so to fit that character, it may be that we would have a 2-story home duplex. And so there'd be probably one bedroom on the basement, in the basement, and 1 upstairs, 2 upstairs. So that would be possible. It fits the character of the community or the neighborhood, and it would fit on the lot. So then it may be that they would be 2-story. One of them would be a 2-story.
Okay, and so for the ones that may have that potential to have a 3rd non-conforming, or is it going to have an egress? They're going to need to have an
Correct.
egress.
Oh, yeah,
They
that
have an
would,
egress.
yeah,
Okay.
we couldn't do it without that. Sure, it's
Okay.
code.
Okay, and then would they be coming with appliances?
Yes. They don't come with all appliances, but we have, in the ones we did in Atkins, they came with a refrigerator, a dishwasher, microwave, stove. We did not provide a washer and dryer. The homes were all electric, just part of my mission, but they had all those appliances, Energy Star appliances, yeah.
Okay, so I know the plans are in the packets, but could you
Yep.
let us know on garage?
Garage, yes. So the duplexes, the duplex plan that we provided has a 2-stall garage. We're probably going to reduce that because most of the neighborhoods, the garages are either don't have garages or they're single-stall garages. So our intention is on the single family for certain to have a 1-stall, maybe a little bit bigger than a 1-stall garage attached. And then on the duplexes, it'll probably be like a stall and a half. 2-stall just is a little out of character for most of the neighborhoods. So we're going to try to, we just don't want to put a house that looks wrong in the neighborhood. And I think you're right, but to build a home in Iowa that's a brand-new home, two bedrooms and a bath, for under 175, good luck. I don't know what the median price of a home in Iowa is now. If you'd look 10 years ago, it was under 200,000. It's closer to 400,000 now. So the cost to build a home in the last 5 years has gone up almost 50%.
Well, thank you so much,
Yep.
Jeff. Deb, for construction and everything, when will these be done? When would the plan be for them to have.
I will tell you that I think on the resolution, we've committed to 30 months, but the biggest delay usually is the state. So there, once we're approved, if we're approved as the developer, then we have to apply to the state for the city of Marshalltown to receive the money. Once that is done, then there's a whole process that we have to go through where we have to vet all of our contractors and subcontractors through the state. And then we have to go through an environmental review with the state. And once all that is done, then we can start building. And my intention would be to start with 4 units right away. And then those could be completed in under 7-8 months from the time that we start. I would hope that would start in the fall. But there can be delays, if there's some kind of odd thing that comes up in the environmental review or whatnot. But as long as the state does their bit quickly, we're quick.
Okay, sounds good. I think that it's going to be a very good thing for
Yeah.
those lots that need the houses, and especially for the buyers who are looking for homes in that price range. And so
Yeah.
thank you for.
And I would, for
stepping
the
up.
citizens, I would ask them to look at our video submissions. The people that are in the homes I built in Atkins, their lives were changed by getting these homes. These are people in their 40s, 50s that have always dreamed of having a home and couldn't afford it. And now they've got an opportunity to build some wealth and to change their lives.
Yep. What's a really good thing is that they're going to have basements. So,
Yep.
yeah, and then the potential to get them
I
completely
think mostly
finished.
that's almost required for us because they're infill. And so there've been homes there before. And it's difficult to build a slab-on-grade home over an existing basement, where the basement has been in the past. Plus, it just gives people an opportunity in the future to have a nice, bigger home.
Exactly.
If I
Thank
may.
you.
Yes, go ahead.
You said the top end was 175. What would you estimate the lowest would be?
Well, so the houses we did in Atkins, we did sell for 175, but the lots cost us $60,000. Okay, that's not Marshalltown. So even in Marshalltown, a for sale lot infill is 15, ish. So I would, just based on that alone, and if there are 4 lots available that the city is willing to part with for us to do this, then that's 60,000 less that we would have to spend to build these homes. So I can't give you any hard numbers right now because the way I do this is that I identify a lot, I come up with a floor plan, and then I bid it out. And then I get the bid, and then I can tell you it's going to cost me $240,000, 62 cents. And then the state gives me $100,000. And so I sell it for $140,000. I mean, that's how I do it. I'm just capped at $175,000. So I would hope that we can, in these neighborhoods, it'd be crazy to sell a house for $175,000 in a couple of these neighborhoods that we're looking at. It just doesn't work. And so I would hope that would be $50,000 less than that would be my hope. But we'll just have to see, what the market will, what it's going to cost me to build it. Costs have been pretty stable the last few years for us.
So it's a possibility we could get one for 125, 130,000
I hope so.
or less.
I hope that's my plan. And the single-family home for sure. I mean, it's a much simpler home than the duplex. The duplex is a little bit more involved, but the single-family home is a very, very simple plan. You're looking at it. It's a very simple home. It'll have a garage on the side. It's a very simple home. I would think so, yeah.
Thank you very much.
Mr. Mayor, may I? Jeff, I appreciate what you're doing and what you're offering. My question, though, is part of this whole program is we've got to identify the lots now, or how does that work? Because the city has lots, and I'm sure we're going to have a conversation later in this meeting about surplus property. What are you expecting the city to provide you with 6 lots for these?
4.
You're expecting for 4?
I wouldn't say expect, that's a strong word, but it's my hope that that's the way it goes. Otherwise, I want to do infill homes. And the only, really the way I can do an infill in Marshalltown is for the city to give us these lots. And then that just reduces the cost significantly. And it's good for the city, it's good for the residents. If not, I'm still probably going to do it. And I'll do some infill and then I'll go to some development, and then it's just going to be a very different thing. It'll be some really nice duplex out in some development with some other houses that are selling for $400,000, and that's just a different kind of thing. But if the city can, when Cedar Rapids had the flood, that's what they did. The Roots program was developed in the city, and when they did that, the developers were allowed to purchase lots for $1 or whatever, and it allowed us to build homes that were accessible to people. So instead of being $175, it could be, $125. Yep.
All right, thank you, Jeff.
Yep.
I'd like to add, by the city having a contribution of the land, it strengthens our grant application.
Any other questions? Thank you. Let's go on to roll call, please.
Schneider?
Yes.
Thompson?
Yes.
Yepes Gomez?
Yes.
Cahill?
Yes.
Fonseca?
Yes.
Mitchell?
Yes.
Nichols?
Yes.
Okay, moving on to the public hearing and resolution approving the proposed plan specifications, form of contract, and opinion of probable cost for the Water Plaza at Megaten Park non-skid rubberized coating project, PRK 22004. I call the public meeting open at 6:17 p.m. Kelsey.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. Kelsey Stafford, Park and Recreation Director. The Water Plaza at Megaten Park non-skid rubberized coating project will allow the awarded contractor to apply the colorful non-slip surface to the spray ground areas of the Apgar Family Water Plaza. Due to the bid price of this item exceeding the engineer's opinion of cost, the coating was value engineered out of the contract for the Water Plaza project. Following the public hearing and council approval of the resolution, staff will continue with the bidding process to execute this project. Thank you.
Anyone from the public have any questions for Kelsey? If not, I call the public meeting closed at 6:18 p.m. and move on to the resolution.
Move to approve. Second.
Yeah, have a motion and a second. Any questions or comments? Roll call, please.
Thompson?
Yes.
Yepes Gomez?
Yes.
Cahill?
Yes.
Fonseca?
Yes.
Mitchell?
Yes.
Nichols?
Yes.
Schneider?
Yes.
Okay, moving on to ordinances, please.
We have ordinance 15114 to amend the Code of Ordinances, City of Marshalltown, Iowa by repealing and replacing Chapter 90 Animals, first reading.
Move for approval.
Second.
Okay, have a motion and a second. Any questions or comments?
Are you asking the public?
Yes.
Yes, Linda Clark, 306 South Second Avenue. I was looking at that ordinance and the resolution. We understand you're repealing and you're starting it all over. There are so many restrictions, and I want to go on the record to state that I would like all pets domestic animals to all have forever homes. But there are other animal rescue leagues around that are limiting and they're refusing to take certain breeds of dogs because there's no space. And I am starting to have a problem with a lot of the stuff because what good is all of these ordinances with rules and restrictions and everything if they're not being enforced? I remember the time that we had rabbit enclosure in my backyard, and it was Depression time. My dad butchered them, sold the meat, we ate them. You're even having restrictions in this law now about that. I remember back when I had lawful chickens, and then because of the rooster fights that were going on in the city, then it was blanketly said, no chickens of any kind in residential property. And so many of these restrictions are coming up. My dad had beehives, and the person that spoke here tonight, he asked if we were restricted on not being able to have beehives. I'm not in the market of doing a beehive, but there are so many things in that that you're taking away, and you're restricting everything and making it criminal that we can't even do things, with pets. And I feed birds now, and I don't like it that the feral cats, if they're running out and around, and to trap them, the league can't take them because they're overfilled. And if they, have them fixed and return them back, those animals still have to have food. I don't want them eating my birds that migrate through my yard, and I've lived there forever. But I was getting a headache looking at all the things that was being changed on this. Just too many restrictions. Too many. That's my comment.
Thank you.
Lee Botter, 401 Orchard Drive. As you heard earlier, I love dogs. I have several dogs, actually, a couple German short hairs. But as an insurance professional for the past 40 years, I want to address the vicious animal license and insurance requirements under Section 90.032.b. That's found on page 210 if you guys want to follow along. I think you need to further discuss with our attorney to expand the language to say certificate of insurance or surety bond. The last sentence in that area that says the certificate of insurance must reference coverage for the vicious animal may prove to be problematic. If a carrier knows in advance this is a vicious animal, it is highly unlikely the owner will be able to obtain coverage via homeowner's policy or a separate policy, as the carrier's risk is substantially increased. However, the owner may be able to get a surety bond. I did speak to a fellow agent with 30-plus years of experience in property casualty liability regarding this issue. When I read the language to him and we had the discussion, one of his comments was, no way on God's green earth would a carrier cover an animal after being deemed as vicious. It's kind of like insuring the home after it's on fire. Carriers do risk analysis in order to stay in business and do rely on agents being their eyes and ears. As an agent, we are bound by ethical and due diligence standards. Carriers may not cover certain banned breeds such as pit bulls, Rottweilers, chows, wolf dogs, etc. That's part of the issue that Jim Shaw had when he was presenting previously. At one point in time, I was looking at a duplex to buy, and one of the tenants had an aggressive pit bull. I walked away from that investment after speaking to my commercial property agent because I did not want the potential liability and I did not want to tell someone to get rid of their pet, and I didn't want to go purchase the surety bond. If the carrier does cover all breeds, there's an individual could face policy cancellation should a problem arise, such as a bite, such as attacking a person or another dog, or if they've had lack of disclosure with their insurance agent or carrier. By adding the surety bond language, I feel it's going to provide clarity and additional protection for the city. Under 90.333.c, a requirement of posting warning signs that a vicious animal is on premises should be added. I thank you for your time, and I do urge you to discuss these potential changes to this ordinance. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, I try to ease into the microphone so I don't yell into it. Austin Gillis, Executive Director, Animal Rescue League of Marshalltown. I'm here because the Animal Rescue League sees a reality of lost pets every single day. The heartbreak of families, the strain on our police department, and the pressure that puts on city resources. And tonight we have a chance to take a simple, practical step that makes Marshalltown safer, more responsible, and more compassionate. We've been talking about the ordinances a lot here in the past few weeks, and one of the things that I've noticed is that microchipping specifically has been brought up, and I think a little bit of education about that might be helpful. But instead of just telling you how simple and effective it is, I'd like to show you. Before I do that, I want to explain why this matters so much. One of the common things we hear is, my cat never goes outside. Why do I need to get the microchip? But almost every pet we reunite comes with that same story. Life happens. A visitor leaves the door cracked, a gate doesn't get latched, a contractor comes and goes. Fireworks and storms send animals fleeing. And in emergencies, house fires, tornadoes, derechos, pets escape because they're terrified. No one plans on these moments, but microchips help us prepare for them. Real examples right here in Marshalltown, an orange tabby cat custody dispute. A woman insisted a cat inside someone else's home was hers. But we have hundreds of orange tabbies in this community. Without a microchip, a 10-second scan turned into a legal conflict involving law enforcement, shelter staff, and potential court fees. A deceased cat found on the highway. A Good Samaritan brought it in. The microchip traced it back to a farm 3 counties away. Likely a mouser that hitched a ride on a vehicle. We couldn't reunite the pet alive, but we could give the family closure. Without the chip, the family would still be wondering today. And every week we hear, he never gets out, from owners who are standing in our lobby. Not because they're irresponsible, but because life is unpredictable. The data is clear. Dogs without microchips are returned to their owners 22% of the time. With a microchip, that jumps to over 52%. Cats without microchips make it home less than 2% of the time. With a microchip, nearly 38% are reunited. Those aren't small improvements, they are transformational. Microchips also save taxpayer dollars and free up police resources. Every unidentified stray requires a police response, transport, shelter intake, housing and care, posting, public posting and follow-up. When a pet has a microchip, that entire process becomes a phone call, and that means something important for our community. Officers can spend more time chasing criminals and not chasing cats. Microchips help us hold the right people accountable as well. A small number of owners generate a large share of stray at-large calls. Microchips give us a reliable way to identify the animal, a documented history of repeat incidents, the ability to address the actual problem, not penalize responsible owners. Now, if I could, I'd like to introduce everybody to Marley, our brave volunteer for today. Show her out to everybody.
Sue says I should.
And this here is the microchip. Everything that you need all in one for everybody. I try to stay in front of the camera so if anybody's at home watching and following along, they can go with it as well. So it's pre-sealed in a sterile pack. We're going to tell Marley that everything's going to be okay. It's just going to be a little pinch. What we're going to do is we go in between the shoulder blades in the back, we make a house, and we put the dog inside. A poke, an insert, and we're done. Now with the universal scanners that we have, I can pull this on, and instead of saying, oh, I think that's Marley, but I'm not 100% sure, she kind of looks like the cat the neighbor has as well. I can scan it and I can get her individual identification number. And that will help me get this animal back home without a bunch of questions, comments, concerns, people coming in saying, oh, it's mine, no, it's actually mine, or any confusion as to, well, I think that looks like mine, but she's not responding to her name, so I'm not sure if it is the right one. And another nice thing is we can access these databases from our phones. And I can pull this up if you'll indulge me for just one moment. And yep, as a matter of fact, this Marley's registered, or she's actually already registered to a Miss Sue Cahill, as a matter of fact. We might be able to work on an ESA letter for you, maybe get to keep them. This might be a lighthearted example, but it proves the point. Microchips create a permanent, reliable link between a pet and a person responsible for it. And we are also committed to making this accessible. The ARL stands ready to support this ordinance, and ensuring cost is never a barrier. We offer microchip vouchers for families experiencing financial hardship, a pay-it-forward fund supported by community donations, and our staff that are ready to help keep pets in their homes with their families. This is our chance to move forward together. Microchipping is one of the most effective, least expensive, and least intrusive tools we have to protect animals, support families, reduce strain on police and shelter staff, improve public safety, build a more responsible community. It's about prevention, compassion, and common sense. I'm asking our community to rally behind a solution that works, one that reunites families, saves resources, and strengthens Marshalltown. For these reasons, the ARL of Marshalltown respectfully urges the council to move forward with adopting these ordinances. Thank you for your time.
Thank you, Austin.
Thank you.
Anybody have any questions for Austin? Not? Anything from the public?
Doris Kinnick, 2020 Catalina Place. My cats are microchipped, except for one. And she actually has a voucher. And Austin, do you make house calls? Because I don't know, I really don't know if she would really, I think she'd freak out if I took her to the ARL. But anyway, obviously, I'm for microchipping pets. It definitely does work. And the last thing we need is to have a dog or cat that's lost. And it's heartbreaking. So thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else? Have roll call.
Fonseca? Yes. Mitchell?
No.
Nichols?
Yes.
Schneider?
Yes.
Thompson?
Yes.
Yepes Gomez?
Yes.
Cahill?
Yes.
Okay. Discussion item. Marshalltown Community School District request for street vacation for Westland Street, East 12th Street.
Good evening, Heather Thomas, Public Works. In front of you tonight is an area around the Miller Middle School, and I have a map here in front of you. So with the project underway there, Marshalltown Community School District has obtained several parcels and properties to aid in their project. Some of those parcels are there on the east side of 12th Street, south and north of that little dead end of Lynn Street currently. They have requested that we vacate that to assist in their site improvements for the project, with the city being in favor of that. Concurrently, there is an old portion of Lynn Street right-of-way that was never vacated and properly taken care of when the Miller Middle School was previously improved in that area, as you can see on the map. So we are recommending to vacate this. In accordance with our city policy, we use the sale of surplus property. There is a provision in there which allows us to donate to other government entities through a gift. So we would like council's direction whether or not you would like to go ahead and proceed with gifting this to that. There'll be additional resolutions. However, this is the first step as a discussion item in accordance with policy. Before we vacate any right-of-way and dispose of it, one of the things we do is reach out to the different utility companies that may have utilities within that area. So we have done that, and those are summarized in the memo. Alliant Energy has requested the reservation of an easement on a portion of it for their gas and electric utilities that are in that area. All of the sanitary and storm sewer within this area is private currently, with the exception of a couple of intakes that we would request reserving easement for. Marshalltown Waterworks has indicated no objection to the vacation. Mediacom is on Alliant poles right now and indicated they didn't need their own easement since they have a attachment agreement with Alliant Energy. And then we did not receive a response from Bluebird. Anytime that we vacate right-of-way, we do our best to reach out to the utility companies that we're aware of that are in that right-of-way through the Iowa One Call system and identifying who is registered in that right-of-way. But we always do include language saying and reserves easement to utilities presently existing as a coverage for the case such as Bluebird. In doing so, we also wish to clean up some area on 11th Street. Currently, where that 11th Street switches from a normal road to a boulevard road, a portion of that road is currently sitting on Miller Street property. So as part of this process, we would like to clean that up and take a portion of these properties, just enough to get the street fully within right-of-way, and have worked through that. We've included information about the acreage and those kind of things, but again, at this time, we would just like council concurrence to go ahead and proceed with this process, and doing so by gift, if so choose.
Who wants to take first swing at this?
So move.
Second.
Your Honor, I have a question,
Go ahead.
and whether it's for you, Heather, or whoever, I am not that good at reading all of the maps and things. Is this going to be a physical extension of Lynn Street? So a car could go from 12th Street over on this Lynn Street over to 11th, 10th, to 11th?
11th. No, so that's actually almost the opposite of that.
Well, that's what I thought, but when, on one of the other graphs where
Yeah.
it said Lynn Street, I was like, wait.
So right now, the right-of-way almost goes all the way through there, and we're getting rid of that and eliminating the dead end there on West Lynn Street coming to the backside.
So there will be no Lynn Street at that point, correct?
Yes.
Thank you.
Anyone else?
May I?
Yes.
Heather, or Theron, with the easements that still need to exist, does this change your building plans any way? Or was this area just going to be for grass and parking?
Theron Schutte, 507 Craig Circle, School District Superintendent. The particular area where West Lynn dead ends will actually be retention area. So all of the enhancements from the purchasing of 15 properties along 12th and Boone will be expanded parking lot and/or retention area.
Yeah, I just wanted to make sure that this sudden, with the with them still requiring easements, wasn't going to put you in a bind. So, and I know in the past, we have swapped land with the school district before. I don't have a problem with that. I know we swapped a park once since I've been on the council. I'm sure there's been other things. I just want to know why I wasn't allowed to drive through the new gym, if that was part of Lynn Street. Why was I always banned from driving through the building?
Your Honor, I think we have a motion and a second on the table.
Yes.
Your Honor, may I get a clarification on what the motion is actually for? Is it, yeah.
So the motion was to donate this to the school district for this use.
I have a quick question, Mr. Mayor.
Yes.
So I'll be supporting this. And every time I try to understand the memo completely from top to bottom, but there's one thing that I just don't know. What's a Bluebird? I know it's kind of a silly question.
Sorry. Bluebird is a utility provider. They came in as a fiber provider who, for the most part, provides internet to the 5G U.S. cellular towers that are here in the city limits.
Okay, thank you. It was just killing me. Thank you.
Okay. Anything from the public?
Thank you.
Have roll call, please.
Thompson?
Yes.
Yepes Gomez?
Yes.
Cahill?
Yes.
Fonseca? Yes. Mitchell?
Yes.
Nichols?
Yes.
Schneider?
Yes.
Okay. Number 2, radon control building requirements.
Yes, this, Marco asked that this be added to the agenda, so.
Yeah, thank you. Thanks to Deb and Clayton for answering all the questions I had in email. But so this is just me asking the council to support adopting Appendix AF from the International Residential Code. It's a code that would help us enforce radon mitigation systems in new homes. In Iowa, we have a cancer crisis, and if you go into the rabbit hole, there's not a definitive answer for it, but the experts are saying one of the main reasons could be radon. I think this is an easy win, an easy step in the right direction. In the memo, I have some facts there that, according to the EPA, 70% of homes here in Iowa are above the action level, so they need some type of mitigation system. 99, so basically all of our counties are at the highest EPA risk level, and about 700 or 400 people die directly because of radon every year in Iowa. So, yeah, and it's super inexpensive to do. When you're building a house, it's between $350 and $750. Clayton was able to help me out with those numbers. And when you're retrofitting it instead, it's between $800 and $2,500. So it's a cost savings for people. Yeah.
I just want to commend Marco for bringing forward this, Your Honor, if I can. My wife and I, we had our basement tested last summer, and we were between 10 and 15, which is terrible. You shouldn't be over 4. We put a mitigation system in, and within 20 minutes, we were under 1. So these systems do work, and I would encourage everybody, even if you're not building new, to get one of these systems put in. There's a bunch of good people out there that could put them in, but yeah, stay cancer-free.
Your Honor, I do have a question.
Go ahead.
Councilor Yepes Gomez, so like with this, is it asking for new homes in Marshalltown to put them in, built
Yeah.
from this point on forward? Okay, and is it a passive system or an active system?
It would be a passive system, right? Maybe you guys can help me out. Passive?
If it's passive, I think that it would be better to have the fan and be active, but.
Clayton Ender, Assistant Director, Housing Community Development. Appendix AF prescribes several options. I believe all of them are passive systems within the building code. That wouldn't prohibit someone from doing a active system, but they would have to follow through with a passive if this was adopted.
Yeah, so I think from what I've seen, new builds do have the passive system. I mean, so it's not in the code to have them, but they put them in. But then when a buyer comes in, they can have it become an active system for X amount of dollars more.
Yeah, they could certainly upgrade it to an active system if they wanted. This change would just require the passive system to be installed with new construction. You are correct that the vast majority, if not all, homes are being constructed with this already, but we do not have the tools as staff to require that at this time. This would at least give us the ability to make sure that does happen and it doesn't get cost, engineered, valued out.
Okay, sounds good. At least the passive system for now, which
Yeah.
would be good. Okay.
Anyone else?
Lane Peary, 20 East State Street in Marshalltown. I did just a little bit of digging into this, and I think I saw that Iowa has the highest radon in the entire country. That seems bad. I would be interested in some, I think this is awesome, but if we could go even further and see about some grants or anything for people that already live in houses. I know my parents couldn't afford that addition at this point, and they're not building a new house. So, but especially with the new builds that were considered earlier, I think this would be a great addition, just to make sure all the bases are covered. Thanks.
Deb Millizer, Housing and Community Development Director. The idea of grants for this is a great idea. Marco did some research that another community, I think it was West Des Moines, used some CBDG grant funds to do that. Myself and Julie Winter with Region 6 did explore that. Currently, there are no grant funding available for that. It would also be a lot of it would take a lot of work for very little juice to get it for us to administer a grant of $300,000. You would have to have like 60 applicants to be able to work through there. My math might not be right, but it would take a lot. But there's currently no grant funding available for it.
Okay, thank you. What would you like to do here?
Correct me if I'm wrong, Carol, but we would need a resolution, right, to put this as officially as a building code?
Yeah, it'll have to come back through, but yeah, go ahead.
It'd have to be by ordinance.
Yeah.
then I move to create a new ordinance and bring it back on, next meeting? My first time here.
Is that realistic, Clayton? What's realistic for bringing back?
I'd say it's realistic.
Okay.
Yeah, I certainly could have something ready for your next meeting.
Yeah. But yeah.
I'll second that then.
Okay, have a motion and a second. Roll call, please.
Mitchell,
Yes.
Nichols,
Yes.
Schneider,
Yes.
Thompson,
Yes.
Yepes Gomez,
Yes.
Cahill,
Yes.
Fonseca. Yes.
Okay. Surplus property disposal.
Okay, thank you, Your Honor. So this policy would be in addition to two policies that we already have. One is the how we dispose of surplus real property, and the other is the capital assets and depreciation policy. This proposed policy would essentially kind of cover what falls through the cracks in those two policies. Right now, departments handle surplus items in a variety of ways. Sometimes we reuse them internally. Sometimes we transfer them to other public entities. Sometimes we sell them on online auctions like GovDeals, or we just dispose of them. We've had these practices. They've worked well, but we really haven't had a policy down on paper to memorialize what the process is. In addition, this policy adds some documentation requirements, some restrictions on employee acquisition of surplus property outside of a public sale, and then some procedures for when we secure data destruction on electronic equipment. So overall, we're trying to promote the responsible stewardship of public assets and increase the transparency of the process.
Okay.
May I? May I speak?
Yes.
Carol, is it, can at the same time, can you combine all three policies so we just have one policy for this? It just has three sections?
I could probably combine the real property policy with this policy. It'd be more difficult to do it with the capital assets policy, I think, but I could do those two. I could bring it back as one policy. That is the council's desire to do so.
I just think for the public looking in from the outside, the fewer documents they have to weed through for the different categories, the better. So
Sure, we can
I
combine
would
those.
appreciate that.
Any other questions? Anything from the public? You need,
We'll bring it back to approve it via resolution.
okay, thank you. All right, moving on, update of purchasing card policy and procedure manual.
Good evening, Diana Steiner. So back in November, you updated our regular purchasing policy. So we just want to be consistent between all the policies that we have. So for the purchasing card policy, we went to raise the threshold to increase it from 5,000 to 10,000. The other major change is that the employee would be contacting the credit card company themselves rather than it coming through the finance department. And then you can see the other little minor changes that we had. Do you have any questions?
Anyone have any questions? Anything from the public?
Hi, Lane Perry, 20 State Street, Marshalltown. I work with P cards or purchasing cards at my job, so I'm just a little confused, and I don't want to accuse anyone or anything, but it seems like we're doing a lot to cut spending, and then we're doubling the amount of the threshold on a P card, and then also removing the oversight of the finance team that works for the city and just having it between the individual and the credit card company. I'm not saying it's like shady, but it just seems like it'd be a lot easier for things to fall through the cracks. For P cards are a mess to begin with, but when you're talking about that amount of money, yeah, I just exercise some caution with this movement. Thanks.
So the procedure for people that have credit cards is, first of all, they have to be approved by myself and the department head, and they set a certain dollar limit. So when that credit card comes in every month, it is reviewed by the department and signed off on.
Anybody have any questions?
Your Honor, I would motion to proceed as outlined in the agenda discussion.
I'd second that.
Okay, I have a motion and a second. Roll call, please.
Cahill?
Yes.
Fonseca? Yes. Mitchell?
Yes.
Nichols?
Yes.
Schneider?
Yes.
Thompson?
Yes.
Yepes Gomez?
Yes.
Okay. Number 5, update of capital assets and depreciation policy.
Diana Steiner, Finance Director. So a couple items. We're changing the fixed asset threshold from $5,000 to $10,000 for land improvements, buildings, building improvements, machinery, equipment, and works of art. And then we're also requesting that this be in effect at the beginning of this current fiscal year, which began last July. We use this when we are preparing our annual comprehensive financial report. Any questions?
Anyone have any questions? You need a motion and a second on that?
We'll bring it back
Okay.
for approval.
Okay, moving on to bond reallocations.
Okay, thank you, Your Honor. So this item is requesting authorization to begin the legal process to reallocate some existing bond proceeds to several capital projects. I want to note that most of the projects listed here were already included in the city's capital plan, and council has approved those, reviewed them and approved them through the annual capital planning process. What we're asking tonight is to take this next formal step that's needed to reallocate those bond proceeds. There are 3 aquatic center maintenance items that are included. We did previously discuss with council back in December as part of our efforts to address some deferred maintenance projects and keep those facilities in good condition heading into the upcoming pool season. In some cases, when projects differ slightly from the original bond language, state law requires us to complete a public hearing or a resolution to officially authorize the change. This action allows us to use those existing bond funds rather than issuing additional debt, which helps the city spend down older bond proceeds in a timely manner. So staff's recommendation tonight is simply to move forward with that legal process so these funds can be applied to the projects outlined in the memo.
Have questions or comments? I would entertain a motion.
Your Honor, I'd motion to move ahead as laid out in the discussion item.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Any questions or comments? Roll call, please. Is there any public comment? Hearing none.
Fonseca? Yes. Mitchell?
Yes.
Nichols?
Yes.
Schneider?
Yes.
Thompson?
No.
Yepes Gomez?
Yes.
Cahill?
Yes.
Okay, we're down to number 7, Revised City Ordinance, Chapter 93.001, Parks and Recreation, Leisure, Camping, Time Limits, Permit, Fee.
Thank you. Kelsey Stafford, Park and Recreation Director. Staff is presenting for council's consideration a draft ordinance change to the camping time limit in Riverview Park. This suggestion was briefly discussed at the October 13th, 2025 meeting in the Parks and Recreation Department's proposals for fee-for-service opportunities. This ordinance change is driven by a substantial influx in requests for long-term camping, the department's attempt to efficiently expand services, and the restriction in the ordinance as it is currently written. Staff will follow an internal policy of reserving 40 to 50% of the full hookup camping sites for short-term camping and 50 to 60% of the full hookup camping sites for long-term stays. There are 8 padded electric-only hookup sites available for both short and long-term stays denoted in yellow on the map in front of you. If this approach proves successful, staff will explore installing asphalt pads on 6 additional electric-only sites denoted in purple on the map. And in blue, in the middle of the circle, you'll see those full hookup sites. Following any questions you may have, staff is requesting direction to return to a future meeting with a formal ordinance change.
I had a question, Your Honor.
Yes?
Kelsey, is the long-term, the one thing that I did not understand or didn't get my answer to on this was the fee for a long-term, is it going to be more than a short-term or less than a short-term? I mean, I understand 7 days and then you have to move, I believe that's the current restriction.
Correct. So as it's currently written, they could stay for 7 days only, and then they'd have to move, or the Director of Parks and Recreation could grant them an additional 7 days. But no, the fee does not, there's no discount for staying longer. It doesn't change as far as the daily fee to the long term. We're just requesting the ordinance change to allow them to stay longer. And then they would, our internal policy would be that they need to pay at least 2 weeks in advance.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you.
Any other questions? Anyone? Anything from the public?
Looking at the picture, they look like tents. Do we have tent camping down at the park? And will that be available when the cyclists come through for RAGBRAI?
Great question, Linda. Yes, we do allow tent camping. So the tent is just the icon for the electric hookup sites. So tent camping is available, or if the ground is not soft or anything, they can pull an RV onto the grass. But we do have the padded sites that are preferable for the RVs. As far as RAGBRAI goes, I think that will be something that we'll come back to you with to see if we want to kind of do a blanket, vacating of certain ordinances or what have you just for that day so that we can better accommodate RAGBRAI riders.
Yes, an ordinance will come forward that's specific to RAGBRAI that will apply only on basically during that time. So you'll see that come forward to you, and we can include this in that.
Thank you, Linda.
Any other questions or comments? Okay, do you need,
We'll bring it back for a first reading of an ordinance.
Yep.
okay, thank you.
Thank you.
With nothing else, meeting adjourned at 6:57.